ho, 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 ho! You wide-eyed ticket rippers and butter-fingered snackers! Welcome to the fluttery frenzy of the Grand Giggleplex Theater's wobbly projection booth, where the old film reels whirl like dizzy fireflies and the air smells like warm popcorn mixed with midnight mischief. I'm Zippo the Zany Clown, your polka-dotted popcorn prankster, perched high above the seats with a head full of confetti and wings of pure chaos, ready to spin the wild tale of what would happen if you released a whole jar full of moths right in the middle of a packed movie theater. My big red nose is twitching with anticipation, and my floppy shoes are doing a nervous tap dance because this is one prank that would turn the dark into a flapping free-for-all. Picture it, my dazzled darlings. The lights have just dimmed, the previews are rolling, and everyone's settling in with their jumbo sodas and extra-large popcorn buckets. The hero is about to say something dramatic on the giant screen when, pop! You unscrew the lid of that innocent-looking jar, and out they come. Dozens upon dozens of soft, powdery moths fluttering like tiny ghosts in the projector beam. At first, nobody notices. A few people think it's just dust motes dancing in the light. Then, one moth lands right on the screen during a quiet, romantic moment, looking like a fuzzy, heart-shaped smudge. And suddenly, the whole audience starts whispering. The flapping begins slow and innocent, like my rubber chicken doing a gentle waltz. Moths love light, you see, so they zoom straight toward the projector bulb like it's the sun itself. Zip! Zap! They bounce off the hot glass, leaving tiny wing prints and making the picture flicker like an old haunted house reel. The beam turns into a swirling snowstorm of brown and gray wings, turning every dramatic scene into an accidental nature documentary. The villain's big monologue gets completely upstaged by a moth doing loop-the-loops right in front of his evil face. I'd be honking with laughter up here in the booth because the audience paid good money for explosions and got a surprise moth ballet instead. Pretty soon, the real panic sets in, my giggling gallery. Someone in the front row feels soft wings brush their cheek and lets out a yelp louder than my whoopee cushion on steroids. Then another person swats at their hair where a curious moth decided to nest for the evening. Popcorn starts flying everywhere as folks duck and dodge like they're in their own action movie. The guy in row 12 spills his entire soda trying to shoo away a particularly bold moth that mistook his glowing phone screen for a landing strip. Soda and popcorn mix on the sticky floor, creating the perfect slippery trap for anyone trying to make a quick escape. The moths don't care about the plot at all. They're having the time of their tiny lives, dancing in the projector light, landing on shoulders, crawling across bald heads, and generally turning the theater into a living snow globe of fluttering confusion. One particularly adventurous moth lands smack on the screen during a tense chase scene and stays there like a fuzzy hitchhiker, making the hero look like he has a weird new sidekick. The audience starts laughing, then groaning, then laughing again because what else can you do when your serious thriller turns into Mothzilla versus the moviegoers? Up here in the booth, I'd be doubled over, losing my marbles faster than popcorn kernels in a hot kettle. I'd try to keep the film running smooth, but those little flutterers keep getting into the projector vents, making the picture jitter like my spring-loaded bow tie on a sugar rush.
The manager would come running down the aisle, waving a broom like a knight fighting invisible dragons, yelling instructions that nobody can hear over the growing wave of giggles and shrieks. Kids would think it's the best thing ever and start trying to catch the moths with empty candy boxes, turning the whole place into an impromptu butterfly net convention. The smell of popcorn suddenly mixes with that dusty, papery moth scent that reminds me of old attic adventures. Someone's giant tub of Twizzlers gets knocked over in the chaos, and red licorice ropes go rolling under seats like escaped snakes. By the time the credits roll, if the movie even finishes, half the audience is covered in tiny wing scales that stick to their clothes like glitter from my last birthday party. The other half is laughing so hard they forget they were supposed to be scared or sad or whatever the film was trying to make them feel. And here's the real circus secret, my marvelous misfits. The moths would win.
They always win when light is involved. They'd keep fluttering long after the lights come up, hiding in the curtains, nesting in the vents, and making the next showing even more interesting. The theater would have to call in the bug brigade, shut down for a quick cleaning, and probably comp everyone free tickets just to stop the bad reviews from spreading faster than moth wings in a spotlight. It's raining moths and whoopee cushions in my imagination machine, with the little flutterers leading the parade like tiny winged ringmasters in fuzzy coats. Can't teach an old moth new tricks unless the trick is phototaxis and turning movie night into a comedy of errors. The best part? Nobody would ever forget that screening. Years later, folks would still say, "Remember the night the moths invaded and stole the show?" So next time you're sitting in the dark at the Grand Giggleplex with your snacks and your sense of wonder, maybe leave the moth jar at home. Or don't! I'd love the show from up here in the booth. I'll stay perched with my nose honking, my plates spinning, and my reels rolling, ready for whatever delightful disaster flutters through the doors next. It's all one grand, glittering, wing-filled spectacular. And I'm the floppy-shoed ringmaster, keeping the chaos cheerful and the laughs flying high. Now dash off and stir up some gentle mischief, you wonderful wing watchers. Zippo the Zany Clown is signing off with a final honk and a fluttery wink. See you in the dark. Bring popcorn, not pests, unless you want the ultimate surprise ending. Zippo out.